don't have, you're technically, yeah, we're a few minutes off here. Okay. Marissa Skaggs is online, but I don't see Carrie. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then if you could speak a little bit extra louder today, since we don't have the mic, it's all connected with the TV and the AV system. We right here on the laptop. Yes, it did okay on Tuesday. They said they could hear it, but yeah, just speak a little extra loud though.
Okay, well, welcome to our meeting, our Urban Forestry Committee meeting for July 21st. We'll start by keeping a roll call to establish a quorum. Julie and Carol Hannah. So we have the quorum. Anyone else joins in, let us know. The first item of business is to approve the minutes from our last meeting in June. And it's in your packet and also your presentation. Have a chance to look at it or look through it quickly and see if you see any corrections or changes. Ready, I'll entertain a motion to approve. Second.
I was kind of stopped here.
Well, that's okay if you.
No.
And I was too long.
Really? Well, you see the motion to approve.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, we'll take that out. Is that from your dad? Yeah. No. Let's see. Good catch. Yeah. Make sure that is corrected.
Anything else? Okay. So we already had a motion. Go ahead and take a vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Those are approved. So we're ready for our old business. Let's take over from here.
Okay, I'll pull this up for Marissa. I'll try to come back and forth there. But yeah, first of all, I would like to introduce a couple that are here. I know we introduced Reese here a moment ago, but we'll also introduce him to Evan as well. But this is Evan McMillan. He is an attorney for Jeff Graham's office. I think a recent joining with his office.
Staff counsel, and it's yes.
McMullen.
Yeah,
okay. No. Thank you very much. Yeah. So this is the Urban Forestry Committee. Mm-hmm. We've got 3 out of 5 here tonight. We've got Carol Hannah, she is our president, and Julia Avey is our vice president, and then Jeanette Isbell, she's our secretary. And we've got Carrie Dodd, sometimes she jumps in online. I don't see her tonight though, but yeah, so they are excited to get active and involved, and so we've got some ideas and things that are stirring up and brewing here, so we're really excited about going into this fall and this coming 2023. So I don't know if Jeff told you this, but I promised Jeff that we would not scar him like we did Shanna. Remember with the human cocoon trees that she was here? I don't know if he relayed that to you.
No, didn't, but that'd be crazy.
Yes, I shared an image with Reese earlier today, and I said, yeah, I totally forgot about that, but
She didn't extend me the same courtesy of not scarring me.
Yes, exactly. I was like, you got to come here and see this. This really exists. Yes. 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 It's kind of a concept of memorial tree using ashes, but it goes on to a human wrapped up into a bulb-like cocoon. And connected to the bottom of a tree.
I thought you said people scarred.
No, sorry. I did take that a little too far. Yeah. Shannon was like, I don't know if I want to go to another one of those meetings. But we also have here Reese Wimmer, and he is was our summer intern, and is hopefully going to be a year-round, intern. He's been an intern for the planning department, and he's worked on a lot of different projects this year already. He came in maybe end of May, right at the very end of May, I believe, yes. And he's helped Hannah on a lot of great projects, doing a lot of research for us. He's done things with tiny home communities and did a sidewalk inventory, started that today. He's kind of been lead on our new Trimble, that it's like equipment that we can do a GIS search for water lines, stormwater lines, and we can get those into our mapping system. So he's just a wealth of knowledge. He's wise for his age, and he's put together a lot of things for us. So
you're going to work through the school year then?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you still in school?
I am, yes. I'll be going back the center of August.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There's always exciting things going on.
That's what I'm learning. Yeah.
Yeah.
There is always something.
There is. Yes.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And he came tonight because he's come up with an idea and some research that he's done, and I'm going to share about that here in a little bit. And I think his idea will team up well with another project that is of need, and I think it's a great fit. So we would like to introduce that to you all, this evening. So, I wanted to first kind of start out. We have the first item on our old business was an idea that Carol Hannah had come up with, would be a Facebook page solely for the purpose of the Urban Forestry Committee. The idea to bring awareness to the urban forestry, to get some education out to the community members, as well as getting involvement from the community members in some different projects that we would like to start hosting, whether it be planting of trees or maybe some educational opportunities. So we had reached out to Solution for eBiz, and they have provided us with a quote. They do have a new market, our manager for their social media, Dennis Good. And we have provided in the presentation the details of that quote. It breaks it down to a setup fee as well as a monthly fee for those posts. They said that they could do about 1 to 2 posts a week for us, covering from providing the graphics, some of the material, and I anticipate that we would then feed a lot of that information to them, some images and yes, exactly. Yes. They would probably do the same as what they do for our town website and our park website, not website, I'm sorry, Facebook pages, do some fill-in things for us, but a lot of it would probably be fed by staff or community or committee members. That is option 1. We need to take a vote for this. If you would be ready to take a vote on this, that's option 1, which would have to come out of the urban forestry account. Like what we discussed last month, there was about $9,800 in the urban forestry account. Right now, what we have slated to come out of that is the Franklin Street.
Where did that money come from?
That money came from either funds that have just been donated over time, and or from remaining funds from grants. If they had gotten some additional funds that came in to partner, we had some money that was left over.
So none of that money is.
It's not revolving, correct, and
okay.
it's not.
And it's not tagged. It's not being promised to anyone. I don't know what
committed or
committed,
yes, there is two future needs. One, we have to use that for the Franklin Street project because the grant for the community crossings grant did not cover the tree planting portion of it. So that has already been committed to plant those trees. We're looking at, we'll talk about that here in detail a little bit later, but about 19 trees, which will probably need about $35,000 to $4,000 to come out of that pool. The other part is the tree management plan. Those type of fees, unless we can get a grant to either co-fund some of that cost or take care of it in full, we'll need some funds from that to take care of those costs. If we, and I'll discuss that a little bit in detail here in a minute too. So that would leave probably $5,000 to $6,000 if we commit to those funds being utilized for Solution for eBiz. Just we'd have to keep in mind that we would want to look for either local or state funds to keep replenishing those funds to keep up with that ongoing cost. The second option that we would like to present, and this just kind of came up today in conversation, would be to have the funds taken up through the planning department, because the urban forestry is a committee under the planning department. But Reese Wimmer has expressed interest. I know he has full capabilities. I've seen his work, so I fully would trust what he does. He's done even already a lot of work on our website page. He did our solar panel research or resource page for the website. So he has expressed the willingness, and we've gotten permission from Hannah Rose, the the planning department director, for him to invest, maybe an hour a week out of his hours to do a once a week post for the urban forestry,
which could be supplemented by
the planning department. Yes, and it would come out.
It would be. We could give him some ideas.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, I would send him. Yeah. And those ideas can come from you all. It can come from me. We can come up with a way to communicate that in a good system for him. He's, feels comfortable in the design. What we would do is we would have it administered through my town email. We've spoken with Jeff Graham's office. He said there would not be a conflict of trademark or a copyright by putting the town logo onto a town email account. We would give the administrative rights and access to the clerk treasurer's office. So he felt like going that route would be all right, and would not have any concerns, for him having that versus, say, a personal email.
So what happens when Reese goes away?
It would stay under my information, the town account, and then we can transfer that to a different, say if something happened to me, it transfer to, say another employee's email. We can switch, you could switch administrators and give administrative rights over to someone else. It would still be a town Facebook page. It just wouldn't be managed by Solution for eBiz. So those are kind of the two options. It may or may not save a lot of money in the, as far as the actual cost per, say, hourly rate, maybe a little bit less going with the under the planning department, but it would be guaranteed funds that would not need to be replenished then with that urban forestry account.
So would it still look like it was part of the town?
Yes, we would still have an image of the town. It would be the town logo. It wouldn't be.
And on the town's website,
we can provide a link to it. Yes.
So it'll be similar to some of the things that the town puts in there.
Yes, it would all look,
informational type things.
yeah, it would all function the same. It would look the same. It would be under control of the town umbrella. It's just that we would not be under contract through Solution for eBiz, and it gives us to where we can funnel it through the planning department funds versus the tree.
So we wouldn't have to touch that $5,000 to $6,000 probably. That would be
so it's a bit. Yes,
Yeah,
that's right.
that's
And it'd be about $900 a year.
Yeah.
Ongoing fee.
That'd give us a little more money.
Yeah. So, and we know, I mean, assuming again that Reese will lead, then that is going to probably fall on you.
Correct.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're okay with that?
Yes, and I think that there's, some, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, that's part of my roles here at the town, and so I mean, he's definitely got the more marketing skills and design skills, but we will figure that out as time comes, and we can change it back over to Solution for eBiz if we need to in the future, if we wish, but yeah.
So who was going to, under the eBiz or eBiz, or whatever you call it?
Mm-hmm.
If somebody asks a question or sends a message or something on Facebook, were they going to monitor that as well?
Correct. Yes. I would probably be the one to monitor it more so than asking Reese to do that.
Yeah.
But as far as posting and the creativity part of it, creating the image and whether it was a collage or whatnot, I could provide him with the verbiage. That's what I do now anyway with Solution for eBiz.
Yeah.
I'll send them the pictures and then they
comments. I mean, is there sometimes you see some fun comments in the Facebook page, but we have the ability to delete things
to be able. Yes.
Well, it can't. I mean, I'm just thinking of those kind of worst case scenarios.
Oh, I know. I mean,
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I know we are very limited. We have to be very cautious of what we do remove, but if it is been, very inappropriate, we would.
I guess I don't really rather that kind of be managed within our group than to have somebody else outside. I'm kind of liking the idea of keeping it in-house. And I guess worst case is we would just change our mind and go back and have.
That's kind of how I feel. I mean, we have nothing to lose and everything. Option 2.
Yeah.
And we're not going to be signed up to it for life or anything. If things don't work out, we have options.
Yeah.
So.
What do you think? Do you have any comments or? Okay, so we can vote.
Yes.
Okay, I guess I need a motion.
Make a motion that we accept option 2.
A second. Okay, we got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Okay. Then second part of old business is the consulting with Davie Resource Group. So I met with Erin on July the 6th and had a great conversation with her. She was very resourceful and very helpful on Tree Keeper program, and then also kind of explaining kind of how she saw our community and what other communities do with their partnerships with Davie Resource Group. They've got anywhere from some towns may have an agreement of $4,000 or $5,000 a year in their budget that they work with them. 12,000. We've got Plainfield that's about 40,000. So they have a wide range of partners and clients that they work with, and can provide any from just an on-call consulting and on an as-needed basis, or even just being very involved as far as inventory and management and updating other management plans. So what she is doing, she's, matter of fact, she's due towards the end of this month. So I haven't heard from her yet, but she is expecting to have a little one, and it's going to be coming back sometime in September. So she said that if she's not able to before she departs, she's going to get back with me by September and to get us a quote. She said that 2023 works very well with her and her group there to start up kind of a working consulting type of relationship with us. This is all subject to review and vote from you as board members. So we'll bring that back as soon as I hear from her. But she is going to work up 2 quotes. So the first one would be for updating the 2016 tree management program. So that is on the website. It's also in your Google Drive, but also just kind of have that there in the presentation. So that's project A that she is going to give us a quote. They were the ones that prepared the 2016 management plan. So they're very familiar with it, but she did say that a lot of things have changed and some of the components will have to kind of reshift because those slated projects of what we remove, what we do for trimming and those goals and objectives, you know, we've not had that capability of keeping up with those. So she would kind of start fresh and put us on a good 5-year working plan from here on out. So she's going to work on be like a flat fee to work with the board members. She would like to come back in November or December to present it to you all and kind of go more in detail of those components of that plan. And then the second part is, if we want to explore that option, is project B, which would be relating to the Tree Keeper program. And we have what we call plant growth management. That group is paid out of the electric department funds to either remove or trim trees that are under power lines or within the utility easements. So they've been under contract for probably about 2 years now and really have worked hard to get it to where it's more of a maintenance or kind of preventive maintenance stage versus coming in and having a mass amount of trees that need to be removed or grossly trimmed. But what we're finding is that that group has their own inventory software, and we need to get the two to communicate good together. So she would like to look into and let us know kind of what their services would cost to kind of blend those two programs together. So then that way she can partner and communicate with plant growth management, find out where they are on a rotating basis. And then as those trees are removed, then she can come up and work with us with a replacement plan to replenish those trees. That part will be the next step, that once we know what that is and we get that in place, I kind of foresee myself, and if you all want to come with me, to present it to the town council, because I'd like to be able to see what options we have to have it on a little bit more of a yearly budget of what we can do for replacement trees. We, as 3 are taken down, we want to always at least replace with a minimum of 1, but that's not taking place right now. So I think if we can request some assistance from the electric department in that, I would like to be able to see that, because they now spend $200,000 to $250,000 a year currently, but once it evolves more into a preventive program, that's going to reduce quite a bit. So if we can then supplement that difference, not that much, but enough to be able to help restore the tree canopy, I'd like to see that. So
when does next year's budget get released?
So next year's budget is in the mix right now. Yes, yes. So from what I picked up, I don't believe that we're going to be able to have it for 2023. But my goal is to have a separate budget, or at least be a separate line item. It is, yes, yes, yeah. Mm-hmm. They will approve it October, November, usually by October. They'll approve it by then as we go forward.
But our project A could come out of that $9,800.
Yes, yes.
Right.
Yeah, and it'll also give me time as well to look into some other grants, just kind of like that, the Community Urban Forestry Grant. That was in part inventory for the tree keeper and in part planting of trees. So if we can get latched on to one of those type of grants, then that can help that as well. Yeah.
Don't we have some type of software already?
Yes. Yeah, the tree keeper software. Yes.
Yeah.
And
So
it's online. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
And what that has inventory is it has an inventory that started out in 2016. They did an initial walkthrough of the town and they hit town right-of-ways. They also did the parks, the golf course, and the cemetery. So there's different segments of that inventory that's on there. Then they came back after the tornado a year later and they re-inventoried and then marked which ones were vacant because they've been taken down, and then new trees put up. When they did that recovery tree project, they got the 100 trees at the park. Then they also did add those 200 trees at residential. So there are some residential properties on there, but those are pretty much the only residential trees that are on the inventory as part of that program. And since then, we've added probably about 66 more trees. We planted 60 trees in the spring of it would be May and June of 2021. And then last fall, we planted additional 6 trees. And then we'll have about 20 trees that we'll add to that here this fall.
Do you think our goal should be to get all the residential trees in the inventory as well?
I asked her about that. She said it is very, if we can. So I think as projects come and that they're related to projects, I think we definitely want to do that. But some things of the difficulty that she explained was when you go and you do it not related to a project, you have these trees and then they come down and then we're relying on the residents to communicate that they've taken them down or they planted new. And so she said most communities rely on it.
Yeah, and I'm just wondering about surely there's some way until we decide what we're going to do, and maybe tree keeper can do this. Some of these new developments that I'm sure that that they are going to have to plant some trees.
Yes, they do have a tree planting requirement. Yes. Yeah. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I just like to kind of keep track. I mean, not me personally, but I feel like, you know.
Sure.
It needs to be kind of keep a close eye on it.
In the new developments, they've got an HOA, and maybe that HOA could have some responsibility to update at least.
Yeah, because that's part of their responsibility
that are in their right of way.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They have like their entries and their buffer yards. So it's a great idea.
I like that. That's something that needs closely watched.
Because it does. It gives a bigger picture and more accurate picture of what your benefits are for your tree, for your community. Yeah. Absolutely. For that, for the tree keeper program, what would be included in that with partnering with plant growth management would be the concept of dividing our town into 5 sections. And then every year, one of the 5, and you just be on a rotating basis, that Davie Resource would come in and they would just hone in on that area and then give updates. So they would give updates as far as if a tree was removed, replaced, make sure that they were properly identified on the system, as well as could tag or make notes that they needed to be trimmed or needed to be removed. So it's a great program. It'd be wonderful if we can really invest in that. I think we just need to be a little bit more vocal and kind of speak up, and get like you said, the awareness. I think our Facebook page will help us with that, but also just some presence at town council meetings and kind of repeat and stress how important this is for our community.
Very important, especially here now and one's coming. I'm sure that's taken care of.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Yes. Yeah, it's just the more I learn about trees, you know, I always say that I realize more and more how much I don't know about trees, you know, but it's amazing what all different types of benefits there are for it. And we just, which learned some from Reese earlier today that I was amazed. We'll mention that here in a minute, but it's amazing, you know, what benefits it does offer the community. And, it's worth the investment. I agree. So that's all I had for those. I'll definitely, as soon as I get the quotes from her, I'll send them out to you and keep you updated on that. And then when the time's appropriate, you know, we'll work on a vote on that later on.
Okay. Denise, I don't know if this falls under old business or not, but were you able to talk to Scott any at all on the plan that you and Aaron and I talked about, possibly having a street tree donation type?
Yes.
What did he say?
Yes. He said, you know, he's all for it. That's one of the things we're kind of thinking about incorporating starting in 2023. I don't know if you guys know Rick Bolin, but he's our street department supervisor, and he keeps telling me he's going to tattoo on my arm, no street trees, you know, no trees in the right of way. We love trees, but not, you know, on the right of way, you know, because he's the one that has to come in and repair the sidewalks and, you know, all that. But he is a wonderful guy. He has helped me out tremendously with the Franklin Street project, and we've surveyed that. And, you know, he'll go along and do anything, but he always likes to tease me. He's like, "Did you get that tattoo yet?" Like, no, but I said, "I'm going to get you a tattoo." It says, "I love trees," you know, everywhere. But they did say that, you know, if we do that, you know, he said, "Just let me know." Just, you know.
I can just hear it.
Yes, yeah. You need to start having him come to our meetings, you know, so that, yeah, you guys can rub off on him a little bit. Yeah, yeah. He's a good guy. He is. He really is. He's an amazing worker. So, but yeah. New business. Are we ready to move to that? Okay. So just some Arbor Day resources. I did meet with Shannon Durham. She is the project development manager there at Arbor Day Foundation. She's out of Nebraska. So got to see a little bit of her window view when we spoke on online. But we met, I just realized, not June, July. Not quite for sure. I got kind of cut off, messed up there. But anyway, we met on June the 28th. And she was a great help and got me in connection with Alana Tucker and Matt Spitzen. So Alana, she oversees the Tree City USA. We'll be applying for that in December for next year. We've been an award recipient for that. We've been a Tree City USA town for 12 years now. So we anticipate we'll be for 13th year coming up. And but we'd love to have the growth award. So I'm planning on, you know, applying for that for our Franklin Street project and kind of seeing where that goes. It's just kind of above and beyond that Tree City award, just showing extra effort in a project that is a community mind, you know, in benefit of the community. And also if we incorporate some educational tasks and activities, which I know that we've talked about that with the elementary here locally. So I think between the two of those, I would like to see us get that growth award again this next year.
Franklin Street is just wide open territory. I mean, there's so many possibilities for that growth award.
Yes, yeah. I'd like to be able to send them some pictures of kind of before and after. And yeah, we've had some issues with the grass seed taking off in our drought. And so our street department, they're going to come back through and replant some seed and put some straw down. And hopefully that'll take off and have some nice growth before we start planting trees there in September. So I'm waiting to hear back from Matt. I'm going to meet with him sometime in August to learn about the ACT program. So it is kind of a program, from what I gather. It's programs that communities that are very motivated and excited about tree plantings, and they're inspired tree planters, and they're looking to be educated and also provide a source of education and training resources that we can utilize. So I kind of talked to them about the education component that we like to have at the Arbor Day celebration at the school here this coming September. And they said they can definitely provide us with resources. So they kind of put me in contact with him. So we're going to meet up, and I'm going to learn more about the program that he oversees. And also Alana, that's when she sent out the handbooks that you have tonight for the tree board handbook, and had a lot of great information in there. So definitely take those home and enjoy them. But it was very well appreciated for them to send that to us, you know, free of charge. The other thing that I'd like to talk to you about is that Shannon had informed me of a tree proposal grant, and what it is, and I sent her an email today kind of asking for clarification. But it seems in the application process that it's more geared towards a natural disaster like we had for the tornado and so forth. But I know that it's been a few years since we've had that. So I wasn't quite for sure if that component was a mandatory existence for us to be eligible for the project or for the grant. But she did clarify today that if we have a focus that we would like to enhance, say, benefits of the tree, or just rebuilding or building a larger tree canopy for our community, that absolutely, please do apply. It's a year round on the application. And so what they do is they just receive our application. We explain in detail what type of tree planting project that we like to have. This is the same type of program that was applied for at the Recovery Tree Program. And they just look for a donor. And so they found international paper the last time, which I think they covered about $10,000 worth of trees. So, so we would like to team that aspect up with an idea that Reese came up with. And he is, I don't know how many weeks here, but he's been investigating, kind of learning about rain barrels. And maybe about a week ago or so came and just said, hey, I'm working on this research on rain barrels, and wanted to know what your idea, or maybe some possibilities that we could, if a resident wanted to take care of the cost of the rain barrel, we can have some of the children in the area or artists in the area paint those rain barrels. They can have them at their home to kind of help out with stormwater and replenishing of water, reuse them, you know, reuse the water that's already there. And, but then partnering that, or making it available for a free tree for the resident. So knowing the cost of these trees, a gallon-sized tree will cost us probably $100 to $140 a tree. So, you know, I know we're limited on our funds, so we definitely would need to look into a grant. And so Shannon did confirm today that that type of grant would be eligible for a similar project like that. So kind of jumping a little bit down the list, but I would love for you guys to visit our website. Reese has put together a rain barrel resource page, talks about kind of like what are rain barrels, the benefits. It's amazing that it's a cost savings of about 30%. We use 300 gallons a day in water normally, and it would save about $35 a month for residents by using that. And so there's flooding, there's storm benefits, and he even went in to explain, you know, where you buy these barrels, as well as a nice graphic of showing, you know, how you would properly install them to work, you know. We've also reached out to the park director, Aaron Burrs, because I know the park had gotten some trash barrels that were closed off barrels, and I know that they've sold them off, but I don't know if they got that. They got some from the soccer program, the soccer fields, and then also if you've seen like those trash cans that are painted. I don't know if they were from 2 different locations, but we asked if he can give us that information that we can kind of look into it to find a nice cost-effective barrel to kind of join those 2 thoughts together. I don't know if you want to talk about any of it or anything that you know, kind of what interests you on the rain barrels, or
you did a great job explaining that. Scott and I have been talking a lot recently about stormwater management. So they're trying to expand laterals, but they haven't quite reached all issues.
Let me think here. No, because the other one was kind of doing on his
So this is just an idea.
Yeah, I told him that.
Okay. People install rain barrels in their cars, so they won't have the need to run that stormwater or the runoff into the streets. And then I thought just a good way. I mean, we could partner with Active Academy, someone like that, to make that make it more beautiful. And then just because there is a cost to that, I don't think the city's going to want to front completely. They have to buy that housing, maybe something to pair in an environmental way. Would be working with you guys to have them.
So does it just come off from their gutter system then? Is that the whole idea?
Yes, yep. So it'll come down from the gutters and be stored in the rain barrel. You can use the water or wash your windows or your car or just maintain your lawn.
Yeah.
Like that.
I kind of made mine. I made one last year.
Yeah.
Just from kind of messed up because that all part of the downspout, But it worked. It's amazing how
really
much
cool.
water.
Yeah.
I just had it for my garage.
Yeah.
And it is amazing
How much it collects.
Yeah. So I just watched my brother-in-law's house and my sister's house as they were out of town and watered their garden, watered their yard. Didn't want to turn on pumps, not a single time. So
that's really worthwhile.
Yeah, I agree.
With stormwater issues, the way we have these, it either doesn't rain at all or we have a gully washer that floods everything. Oh yeah, I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, I think so. I will go ahead and jump to the stormwater tree planting initiative. That is a program. So just kind of recently joined this group, and it is what they call the MS4 partnership. It's Madison County. There's 8 partners, which is the Anderson University is one of them. Alexandria, Chesterfield, Edgewood, Ingalls, Pendleton, Anderson, and then the Madison County Unincorporated are all partners of this stormwater effort. It's not mandated by the Indiana Department of Environmental Management, but it's a way to be able to kind of check off those requirements that you can have some joint efforts that under what they call a general permit as a municipality, we have certain requirements now. It was passed in early 2022. We all had to submit a notice of intent and compliance by July the 5th. So ours was filed on June the 28th. And from there, there's a clock that starts on several different components. So we've got to have education. We've got to have training for our staff. We have to have a stormwater quality management plan that has to be updated or established. We do have one that I believe was early 2000s, only one part of the 3. So we have contracted with Commonwealth, and they're going to work with us to rebuild that plan. And so we have to have that done by December 28th of this year. So, but a part of this is that there's a requirement that we need to identify 3 community-wide issues that are related to stormwater. And we have to have 3 activities throughout each year relating to basically address those concerns. The first one, and so what's nice about this partnership is that you host one event, you all kind of pull together with your efforts on it, and then that is one of the 3. It makes it to where it's not so taxing, on small towns, so you can kind of work together to have that part of your fulfillment your obligation, you know, fulfilled. The first one we've got is White River Watchers is going to be doing a clean out on August the 20th. And so then we're going to have a stormwater educational tables there that when they come together, the families come together for lunch and so forth, we'll pass out. So that will be one of the three, but then we need to have one next spring, and then we need to have one by next July. So what I would like to propose when they come back in September is for us to do a stormwater tree planting initiative. And then that way, if they are open to it, maybe each one of us would commit to, because it's a 5-year cycle. So if each one would commit to planting, say, 20 trees a year, we also have the city of Anderson and then the county, which are larger. They may already have where they plant, say, 40 trees. But with the numbers, if we can get that type of commitment in a 5-year span, we would always plant 1,000 trees. So thinking that we could kind of kick this off in our spring, incorporate his rain barrel program. Now not that they have to do the rain barrel program, but we can work on funding between now and the spring, and we can have funding for at least 10 trees, which would be more than doable for the spring, and then 10 trees in the fall. But if we want to knock it all out in the spring and invite, kind of, we talked about like that 50-50 program where the residents purchased a tree, that would count as well. Or if we do come up with a grant that can cover the cost of the tree, we can do that. If they want to, you know, can have them where they cover the cost of the barrel. So just some ideas. I'd like to be able to present that to the group in September. We're waiting for our meeting date, but it'll probably be mid to late September that we're going to do that. But thought that might be a good timing that gives us about 6-8 months to work on. And I would just work on it, you know, myself, but then bring it to, you know, update you all as we find funding for it. And
that's called MS4?
MS4. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's our level of municipality, and it's for this municipal stormwater level 4 is what that's for.
So in our August meeting, then could you maybe have like what you're planning to present?
I could, yes, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that would still give enough time ahead of
their September meeting.
September meeting.
Yeah. Kind of get all of our.
Look at, you know, just I think that would be helpful.
Yeah.
So I just kind of finalize that presentation, and then absolutely. I think that would be a great target date, and kind of solidify a lot of the details a bit more, and see, you know, how it goes. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
So again, this MS4 just needs to have three. So there are eight entities, but as a group, just need to have three projects.
Yeah, three projects, and each community can do their own, but yet kind of make it seem like it's one unified event or effort. And
other communities come up with better ideas or whatever, then we may just hold off on ours.
Yeah, or we could do ours on our own, just as an urban forestry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You've really been busy.
Well, it's all good. Yeah,
I'm impressed.
Well, I you know, just kind of one of those things that, well, I call him Cookie, but Jim Cook, he goes to the meetings too. We're sitting there and we're talking, and it's just like, hey, we can put this together with trees, you know, and because trees, it's amazing, you know, how, you know, they help out with the flooding, and they help out with that control and
I remember
soil management.
All the trees that we lost during the tornado, what impact that had. Was that you telling
the
impact on the stormwater?
Yeah, the impact on the stormwater.
Yeah,
because all those trees and their big root systems and everything kept so much of that water down. Yeah, it's just stormwater down.
Yes. Yeah.
And well, Franklin Street's a perfect example. Yeah, I mean, they're all gone. And the stormwater there, I know, has it's never been real good down there, you know, as it comes down on State Street, but it's really been bad, and it's pretty amazing the impact that has.
Yeah.
And that's things people don't. You just don't realize that.
You don't think about like that stormwater runoff and
Right.
you know what type of
It's a 30 or 40 or 50 or 60-year-old tree.
Mhm.
And how long it takes to replenish that.
Right, exactly. It's just, I don't know.
yeah. Oh, yeah. As I say, then, so yeah, I will plan on doing that. I will put together kind of a little presentation. I'll see if that's something that, see how we display, but like put them a little presentation for them together and kind of, you know, kind of express, you know, kind of what our thoughts are. And then I'll bring it back to you for your thoughts. And then I could tweak it from there. And yeah. Okay.
And you know, in our Facebook thing that's going to be on the camp, little facts like that.
Yes.
I think if people would read that, I think that things like that would help, because that's something you would never, well, we just wouldn't think about. Yeah. Those are the kind of things we need to put.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then hope somebody reads.
Yeah.
But I always read all the towns. And sit on there. I think they're real interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think, you know, I kind of, when I got the quote back and kind of started thinking about it, and I thought, oh, I knew what the limits of our fund. And, you know, I thought, well, maybe at least what we could do is just have them do a couple times a month, them making a tree, you know, post, you know, but I feel like it kind of gets mixed in with the meetings and so forth. And it kind of loses that momentum that, like you said, you know, that awareness of, this is that focus and everything that will be on there for the community to see. You know, I think it'd be great to, you know, involve kids with it, and I think sky's the limit, you know, what we can get to.
Climate change.
Yeah.
Surely most people in this one now is
Oh yes. We gotta kick the politics out, but we got yeah.
There's so many facts that you could introduce in a nice, gentle little manner.
Absolutely.
That where people maybe might pay a little more attention.
And I know the Arbor Day Foundation has all kinds of resources and information, and I bought some trees recently from them. And I'm getting all these emails from them. I hadn't done that for a while.
They're hoping to get it in the office, but I don't know when that'll happen, but that'd be great to have local.
I don't know where they came from, but I bought 3 vault cypress.
Oh, pretty.
Because we have low just retain water.
They like to stand in water.
They like standing water. So
how big were they?
They weren't very big. They're probably just like that tall, maybe. They're probably up to here, but they were in good shape. Just came in the mail.
Oh wow!
And you might plant them.
Yeah. That's awesome. No, you can do that. Just order, from them direct.
They've got a big inventory.
Wow. That's really
they're just starter, they're just starter trees.
Right.
Yeah. That's really
good idea.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But so stuff like that, we can share on the Facebook, that I never knew that. Yeah, Michael Planet.
Deeper.
Oh, that's great.
I've got a big hydrangea.
And he loves to take things out. Oh, let me tell you.
Oh. Yeah. Well,
sorry.
No, you're fine. Yeah, this is all good. No. Last thing I had is Franklin Street planting project. So Rick and I, we went out on the 8th of this month originally. And we had, the locates were supposed to have been done at like 6 o'clock on the 6th. And so, well, first it was at 1 o'clock on the 6th. And we thought, oh, we're more than covered, because then they called and they asked for the delay until 6 o'clock instead of 1 that day. So we were like, all right, let's go, we'll get out, that morning. And so we walked it. We came up with our plan, and get this here. And then he got a call this past weekend from the gas company and said that they did not get out there to mark. And so we went back out yesterday morning, and I was very saddened to find out that the very first, as you come in off of State Street, you'll see it on your map there. The very first section, there's actually 2 islands there. So off of, it's here in your presentation right here. Sorry. Yep. Or in your Google Drive too.
Which side of the street?
So it would be on the west side of the street when you're coming off of State Street. Those first 2 homes there, there's 2 islands that we thought would be great to have 2 trees over there, right across the street from the ones on the east side. And it is entirely gas lines. It runs right through there. Then it luckily cuts across the street and it doesn't impact any other islands, but those 2.
So the very front part then is just.
I know. I just thought, oh, we need a sign or something, but it's like, we cannot plant a tree at all. We had some restrictions on the water lines. We worked around those, and we felt like they had at least a nice little balance, but we cannot plant anything because it runs right down the center of it, and it's not wide enough to go on either side of it. So yeah, so I was bummed.
So do those homes have trees?
I can't recall. I mean, I know that there are several. We tried to stagger them and not be right directly in front of the trees on other homes.
The section there where we can't.
Yeah.
The one, the
to.
First one there by State Street, I know has some in the front part of the house on State. But
it'd be nice if we could come up with a way, to encourage them to plant
in the yard.
In the yard.
Yeah. Well,
maybe
I will.
Maybe we could use those 2 trees that we planted there and put them in the yard.
That's what. Yeah, I'll check on that. I'll see what type of, if we can kind of get away with working around the,
driveways and all
of street department planning on personal property.
We ran into that on Pearl Street. The gas company. No, it's been years ago. The gas company did not mark, and so we had all these trees picked out to go all the way down Pearl Street, and they ended up planting some, but they're not. They were able to plant. The gas line would be right here, and then the tree would be. That's in that little street right away, and they don't look. Some of them just don't look right.
Yeah.
They just look.
Yeah.
And on down the line, they may cause issues with gas lines. Gas lines always pretty slow. Gas lines.
Yeah.
They're just always.
Yeah. I think they did have an incident recently, the same thing, and it got hit because it didn't get marked. And
how about that section between Elm and
so yes. So then so on that section, there's 2 islands as well. One has a tree and doesn't really have enough room, or with our water line, we can't plant another tree. So that tree was able to be saved. But then there's also another island that the resident has planted. Some small shrubs of some sort. I'm not quite for sure what they are, and a tree in the center. So they have planted that entire section. So we later on, if they don't survive, the tree we could, yeah, I can ask them. It's covered right now. I think it looks like some sort of almost a pine type leaf type thing. I'm not quite for sure. But yeah, the leaf looked a little different. I didn't recognize. Yeah, yes, yeah. So I think they were just ready to go. Okay. Yeah, no, I just go. Thank you for coming. Oh yeah. So they, yeah. So we're kind of a little bummed, and
that's another thing we can put in our little things. You, I mean, you.
Yes.
You can't. You're not supposed to plant without permission, and they have these street trees, but they plant these little.
Yes. And it's kind of a little touchy situation with that one, so they've just let that go for now. So
you have to choose your battles.
Yeah. So at least that kind of balances out one end and the other end, maybe, but
trees, that's huge.
So we'll be able to, get some, decent sized trees. We'll probably stick to no more than 1.5 caliber. When you get into that 2-inch caliber, it's that bulb and burlap, and in a right of way, it really is hard for them to get in there, and it takes up a lot of the space. And so
hard to get those established too. I noticed on the north end of the park today, they planted a bunch of trees, and it looks like 2 of them
aren't going to make it. Yeah.
They're big trees, and they're just hard to get.
Have weather like we've been
Yeah, you definitely have to supplement a lot more and a lot longer. Yeah.
That's something else I think would be interesting or informative to put on our Facebook page, especially for people that planted trees, 4 years ago. It's how important it is to be watering. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
How much water?
You're absolutely right. Yeah. So what we're going to do, like I said, we're going to have the 19 trees. I'm going to send, I always send images to Kevin at Bluegrass Farms, just so that he has an idea visually what that planting area looks like. And then I'm going to ask him to send us a variety of trees to pick from. Depending on the timing, I may send it to you in email. And so then if you want to be, we can, get together and we can select which trees to go where. Scott had brought up the idea of maybe inviting the resident to choose what type of tree. So, we can do that as long as we don't have where all of them are the same tree and then we get 3 of one, and, it would be nice to have a nice balance. So I'm kind of mixed feelings about that. If it's better to,
it could get ugly.
Yeah.
But if there, some of them probably won't even care one by the other, but then others might, and maybe you could kind of say, well,
if we pick the tree, but if we say we've got to have a variety of trees, and certain trees that, I don't know.
If you knew, they might cooperate, but some of people just the ones who plant the lilac bushes and whatever in the right of way, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So we could think about that. I'd like to, kind of see what variety he, gets back to us and how much we can have. And if there is a good number to choose from, maybe we'd be safe to do that. But I'll let you know as soon as I hear back. And we can.
No, because a lot of these trees that we're losing now were all planted about the same time, and they're all basically the same type of maple, and they're all reaching the end of the line. I mean, they've been there so long.
Yeah, when you have a variety of trees, they're going to grow at different rates and have different life, so it starts to look more balanced. So, a whole line of Bradford pears.
Yes.
And the first storm that comes down,
they
all cracking.
And I think it would be nice too to have a mixture of trees that have a blossom in the spring and in the fall, maybe some different colors and fall. Yes, yeah. So we might find once we get that inventory, it'd be better for the committee to kind of choose, you know, the trees and what area. I don't anticipate any difference as far as soil and, you know, what would be appropriate. It's pretty much going to be the same, you know, there. But
did they replace some of that stuff that
they did, like soil. Yeah, they had to come back and do that. But our street department will be coming in and reseeding. So yeah, they're just gonna go ahead. We've got to get that grant closed out by September the 4th. So just kind of let that go and let our local guys come in and keep an eye on it.
I've got a friend that lives over there, and she showed me what, and it wasn't our guys. It was that group that got contracted.
Yeah.
They were just filling in the little islands with rock and pieces of concrete.
Oh, I didn't hear
then
that
they
part.
throw in a little bit of dirt, and it's like, there's no way a tree could.
Yeah.
And I think my friend said something to Scott, who came down and took care of that. Yeah. I mean, that's silly, but that's what happens sometimes when you contract out like that.
Yeah, construction company doing landscaping. That probably should have been a subcontract on that part. Yeah.
Hey, let's put over on Franklin.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, it's not taken off well. It's pretty much weeds. And so our crew came in and they mowed the weeds down, but then they'll reseed it. So yeah, that'll be good.
Well, I don't know what they've done in front of Sandy Butler's house, but they did an awful lot of effort to seed that and
I heard
clean
it.
up.
Yeah.
Her house over there.
Yeah. I don't know what they did or why, but they put the mesh down and everything.
I don't know. They worked that.
I don't know if they did that.
She moved.
Oh, I didn't know that.
She just lives 2 floors down from me.
Okay. I forgot.
Yeah, now, but
in front of her old house.
yeah, her son lives in it.
And they did a lot of, I mean, it looks like they did it right as far as replanting and
good. Yeah, I don't know if they had to work on a culvert or do they have to work on something there, or maybe a water line or something. I know there was a big boulder that they had to move, and I don't know exactly what all went there. Yeah.
So you can do it right.
Yes. Yeah. And it probably didn't help with the timing of, pretty much the drought and not having any rain, but
too much now.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, so looking forward to that. And then we hopefully by mid-September, early October, want to get those trees planted. I don't want to wait too late. It's too cold. I think that'll be good timing. We'll go ahead and order a tree for the school. So that's just kind of put up some coming up things for us to kind of get our hands dirty. And
did Eric say what kind of tree that they wanted, or?
No, he didn't say. He said that they'll kind of talk about it. He wants me to get back with him the first week or two of school, and then he said he didn't know if they wanted the same type of tree or if they're going to want to have a variety of trees, around. I think, what was it, a red maple or something that they really wanted last year. So I anticipate him picking something different. So then that way he would eventually have 5 or 6 different tree species there. Yeah, I would too. Yeah.
That would look so nice. Start getting some trees.
Yeah. He just said he'd kind of think about which spot he wanted to go to next. And and then I'll touch base with him here in a couple of weeks. That's going to be here. Yeah. Real soon. Yeah. And then Aaron, he said that he'll give us, I don't know if we'll be involved with the application review because I think they've already got their committed plantings for this fall. But maybe if he gets more applications over the winter or something, we can be involved with that part of it. But definitely, he said he'd let us know when they're going to plant the memorial trees, and anyone that's available will jump over there and help out. So. And then, of course, like to get with you all with the selection of the trees. I only have one more thing. it's not on the agenda. So,
well, I don't know.
but if I could
It's not on me.
add something,
Is it gonna be good?
well, it's something I really, yeah, it needs to be discussed. So, yeah, I know what I was. So would like to have your input. This is something we don't have to take a vote on, but I did consult Jeff Graham on this matter. I have sent probably 3 emails, maybe 4. I sent my 5th one this past week as a reply back to the decline email that I got from Adrian. I left a voicemail on her home phone, and I have not gotten one response. I've worded it nice as I can be, you know, understand life gets busy, you know, if this is a good time, we totally respect. So I asked Jeff what our options are, because, you know, I believe that it's been close to 2 years since she's been here. Her term expiration does not come up until 2024. If it was 2023, I felt comfortable in just sitting on it and letting the board kind of, or not the board, the town council appoint a new member. But especially being a year and a half still out, and I know how active you all are wanting to be and would like to have a full team. Jeff said that the way that we'd have to handle it is we would have to ask the clerk treasurer's office to have it added to the agenda for town council to remove and replace an urban forestry member. So it would be an official agenda item. And it would be a matter that we would present, or I would present, and then they would vote on it. And if we have a replacement at the time, they can also vote to replace. I do know of someone that's very interested in being on the board. She was a board member before, but things kind of, they changed, but she had to step off for a little while and has expressed interest. That's Joe Scott. So she's, you know, very involved with the park, and I think she would be a great asset, but it doesn't mean that she has to be the one to be appointed for the replacement. But we have to, step one, we need to take care of the removal if the decision isn't made for it to be a voluntary resign. What I'd like to do, and what kind of, you know, we could either move forward with that and put it on the town council agenda for August, it'd be the 2nd Thursday. It might be 12th, 13th. I'm not for sure exactly what day. We can do that. We can wait until September as well. So that'd be the 11th of August. The other thought is, and we don't have to, he says, but the other thought is to send a certified letter.
Well, I was going to say, or we send a letter.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't understand why there's, I mean, I just don't understand why there's no.
Because she's getting the email for invites. And so it's the same email, it's her town email. So I know she's receiving those, but
she's not even replying.
We're not even replying to any of the emails. So that's why I thought, well, maybe do.
Email, call, I guess I feel like we need to do a mail, whether it needs to be certified or not.
Yeah.
I don't.
Just a mail in an advisor of what.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What the options are.
Yeah.
I mean, because really, I mean, none of us is going to think. She just says, I can't do it.
Yeah,
that's
sure.
Right.
Yes.
That's not.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
This whatever she's not seeing. I feel like she's going to shop right now. Like, hey, what's your next meeting?
Yeah. Yes.
At some point, think, hey, I used to be on this. Right.
Yeah.
Committee.
Right.
I think she probably is just.
I don't know if
she's real nice. She's very nice.
Mm-hmm. I've heard good things.
She's a very
very
nice
busy.
Person. And I just feel, I don't know, but I just feel like she probably, I don't think some people understand, since this is a tree committee, the tree club. This, I don't think some people realize that this is under the town's umbrella and they have to follow the rules.
It's not just a club.
It's not just a club. And maybe she just, well, obviously I don't think she's interested anymore. For whatever reason, that's her business.
You get
busy with other things, you know, and.
But it would be nice to have someone else that's like to
Yeah.
wants to, yeah.
You know, and I know Joe Scott, if whatever she's involved in, you've got her.
You've got her,
You
yeah.
have got her.
Yeah.
She will, she gives 100%. And if she can't do it, then she'll just come right out and say, hey, you know, I can't, do it. I can't, you know, for whatever reason. And so, yeah, but I'm with Carol. I think we ought to send her a letter and just
and using the same thing you've been saying, but just put it in writing and say that, I don't know, I don't want to make it sound like an ultimatum, but you know, since we haven't heard from you, we're going to.
Yeah, it sounds kind of like, ooh, you know, I think it would be nice if she got a
because
letter.
I want her to know that it's going to be presented to the town council.
Yeah.
So something like, you know, maybe you haven't been reading it, you haven't been seeing the emails, she's going to read them out, you know, she's going to get your signature.
Yeah.
So just let you know if you don't reach out.
Just to make sure that we have, covered.
Yeah, and all she'd have to do is just call.
Yes, that's
and
it.
just say,
Yes.
you know, I'm sorry. And maybe she'll do that. I just didn't realize, you know, that
What steps? That's what.
what
Yes.
steps
Yes.
have to be.
Yes.
And I think that's what it is. I just don't think she realizes.
Yeah. That's what I was really, you know, I would like to avoid having it in front of town council if we could. So that's why I thought, if you don't mind me taking a little bit more time to go ahead and I'll get that letter out.
But if she resigns, then we don't have to.
Correct.
We don't have to.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
If
that
she,
would be very
that was,
sweet.
I think that, because then that gets,
that's okay. Okay. Well, then I'll do that. I will be out next week, but I'll get that letter out to her before I leave tomorrow. So I'll send her a letter.
So it can be a 5-member board.
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
So even if we're kind of, you know, hanging with just with Adrian, if Joe wanted to come on, that could happen, right?
Well,
before Adrian is.
No.
I can't have her appointed until.
We've got Karen.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes. So yeah. I mean, she wants to come, but and like you said, she may get the letter and then call. If she does that before the August town council meeting, I just need to get that topic to them the Monday before the town council meeting. Now, if she resigns, they won't address that part. All they would address is just a appointment to the thing.
So
you know,
let's give her time to reply.
Okay.
So you know, if you don't, that's not in time for August. I say we just shoot for September.
Okay. Well, I'll give her 30 days. It's kind of what our typical noticing time is. So I'll give her 30 days to reply. If she replies beforehand that yes, she needs to step down, basically I'll ask her if she can submit an email to Chet Bab. And so that's kind of what I put in the email. It's all she would need to do. Just a quick little short, email. And then that will open up the door for us to ask him to appoint Joe then at the August meeting. And then if we don't hear anything, we'll just plan on doing that in September. Okay. Does that sound okay?
Yep, that sounds good.
Okay.
That sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, it has been at least 2 years. Don't you think, Denise?
I think.
Is this her second appointment?
I don't know. Let's see. 2024, so it would be, it's a 4-year. So 2020. So she might have gotten appointed right when I first started here. And I think that she maybe went to one meeting. I started in August of 2020. So I don't know if she had went to one meeting that I'd seen her, maybe remote, something. But I do feel like that she was here, for one. I'd have to look back at meeting minutes. But.
Well, let's take the high road on that.
And right. And maybe it's a possibility that she isn't.
Oh, yeah.
And my name's
Okay. Well,
yeah,
you're welcome. Thank you for being patient with me. My voice is like going, and my mouth is as dry as can be tonight. I'm like, oh, I've been on medicine a lot in the last 24 hours. I'm sorry. I'll let you adjourn before. I'm sorry. Officially. Okay. So we have. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, there's so much stuff in there. Did you think